where Donald Trump was before yesterday, a clear GOP frontrunner, perhaps taking on water in the last week or so, but we really did see, if nothing else, the Never Trump movement coalesce in the state of Wisconsin. It led Ted Cruz to a win bigger than most projections had him winning in that state. Do you think we're going to look back months hence and say it really did turn for Donald Trump in Wisconsin?
This is a turning point. I think I'm not ready to write Donald Trump off yet.
You're a wise man.
I still think that he probably is going to wind up with a nomination.
You do.
But he's pretty much got to really run the table in the rest of these primaries if he's going to do it before they get to Cleveland.
You think he will be the nominee if this convention is contested in Cleveland?
He could be.
Could be, but do you think
because
he will?
we keep talking about a brokered convention, but who are the brokers? I mean, there has to be a movement, and we are seeing this organized movement to stop Trump right now. I think we'll find out. We're not going to know until California, the California primary, as to whether he gets the number of delegates he needs. If he doesn't have the number of delegates, the majority of the delegates before Cleveland, it's going to be more difficult for him to do it. But I still think he has a chance to do that once he gets there. I mean, what's going to happen here, we may see the Republican Party just come completely apart at that convention, if it does get to the convention and they don't have a nominee. I mean, I think it's not out of the question to say we might see something like 1968 in Chicago when the Democratic Party came apart before our very eyes.
At the seams.
And you know, what people sometimes overlook, the Democrats didn't win in 1968, but then they came to 1972. They tried to institute all these reforms. They threw out the old party bosses and all of that, nominated George McGovern, a good man, but someone far outside the mainstream of the Democratic Party at that time, and he lost every state but Massachusetts. I'm not sure that the Republican Party is going to survive Cleveland if it comes to that. We may see two parties after this. I was talking to a Republican senator who's a friend of mine the other day, and he said, you know the difference in our party and the Democratic Party? He said in the Democratic Party, the Hillary people don't like the Bernie people, and the Bernie people don't like the Hillary people. But in our party, everybody hates one another. It's not a matter of like or dislike. I don't know if the forces within the Republican Party, as we know it today, can coexist in the same party. We may see two parties come out of this.
So through that looking glass, it does seem perhaps to members of the Republican establishment, if nothing else, that that up is down, that night is day at the moment. And so we have John Kasich, another distant third in Wisconsin yesterday. However, if I'm a Republican voter, I also, if you believe the polls, I also see John Kasich as the only one beating the presumptive nominee of the Democrats, Hillary Clinton, in a general election. To that end, as Trump and Cruz have both called on the Ohio governor to leave the race, he too is saying, let's get to Cleveland when, to your point, perhaps this thing comes apart at the seams and they're going to need to put
Who knows what might happen in Cleveland? I mean, you might, if you get to a third or fourth ballot and they can't come up with somebody, and I mean, I've said this before, there's nothing to say they won't come up with Paul Ryan.
Yep.
There's
something that Charles Koch, according to a report in the Huffington Post yesterday, told friends that he thinks that Paul Ryan, in fact, would be the shoe-in of a contested convention.
I think he'd, I mean, I personally think he'd be a very strong candidate myself. And what he might do, of course, is turn to John Kasich as his running mate. Republicans have never won the White House unless they carried Ohio. That would give them a head start on Ohio. Nobody knows at this point, and nobody can say what's going to happen at that convention. But it's going to be a mess, I mean, all around.
Short of 1237, that seems the one thing everybody is really agreeing upon today. Bob Schieffer, we, of course, very much appreciate the time.
Well, thank you. Great to have you, John.
Thank you.
Okay.